Venus, you had a quick start, but then she seemed to sort of find her form. How did things play out from your point of view?
I mean, she played really well. I respect that she played well. And, in the first few games, she made some errors. And in the last 12 games, I made all the errors. So, she played to win, and I give her credit for really competing well.
Venus, what was it like for you just the last few days, just not being able to play? And how much were you able to practice, if at all? And what were the conditions like on the court?
Yeah, it's not really easy to get a lot of practice because you're on site all day waiting. So you have to be here in case they change your court or if you're first or second on. So not ideal, but I've done it before. All the players have done it before, and you got to be ready to go when they call the matches.
Sorry, could you use the microphone?
Did the court feel heavier to you today?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, the courts have been heavy all tournament, but there's some shots that I went for, and they landed a lot shorter because the balls were so heavy, and then you get in trouble with those short balls. So sometimes it's hard to change the pattern of kind of how you've been playing all week, and so the conditions were definitely heavy.
Overall, how satisfied are you with your run here?
I mean, I wanted to play better today. I think the most disappointing part is just not playing well, and that's disappointing. I give credit to my opponent, and it's just a frustrating day of kind of like balls not going in or hitting the net tape, and so that's frustrating for me. But I competed as well as I could out there, and she played a smart match, and I'm sure that definitely added to my troubles.
Venus, you mentioned the ball being heavy. Can you feel that in your arm at all when you're striking it? Does it take more of a toll?
It could. I don't know. When I'm out there, I keep swinging. Even if something's bothering me, I put it out of my head. So I'm not the kind of player that focuses on pain. If you're going to be out there, be out there. If not, don't.
Venus, with the schedule pushed back the way it has been now, the women technically would have to play 4 matches in a row to finish on time. Do you think that the tournament should prioritize finishing on time or prioritize giving the players the breaks that they would normally have in a Grand Slam?
Typically, you have to finish on time. I think if there's any more delays, though, it's not good to play 2 matches in one day. I think that's where they have to draw the line.
Any more questions you have, Doug?
Just curious. I mean, there were a couple players on the men's side that sort of walked off the court yesterday because they didn't feel like the conditions were playable. And is that something you would ever do, or do you think that that's something that the players should take into their own hands, or is that something you should just rely on the umpires and the supervisors to figure out?
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I think the conditions were not playable yesterday. It was really bad. It's hard to see. The balls are wet, the courts are wet. I wasn't out there the whole time that some of the matches were on, but it just seemed terrible. And it should be fair. Some players shouldn't have to play in that weather and others not. So doesn't seem quite equal.
You head to grass season next, or are you planning on doing your normal just Wimbledon, or now that the grass season lead up is 3 weeks long, is there any chance you would add a tournament in that middle week?
No, I can't deal with any more rain. I can't. So I'm not. It's one of the main reasons I don't play before Wimbledon. Before, obviously it was not a lot of time, but I can't sit indoors any more longer than what you may have to here at Wimbledon. So I'll be hopefully where it's dry.
Would you draw the line at 2 matches in one day, or because the women are used to playing back-to-back days as far as 3 sets go?
2 matches in one day?
Is that sort of your ceiling, or you don't see a problem in the women playing back-to-back consecutive days, I mean?
Oh, back-to-back is fine. That's what we do all year. But 2 matches in one day, especially if the rest of the draw isn't doing it, I don't think it's a good idea.
And I think last year you and Serena used Jack Nicklaus's grass court a little bit to get warmed up for Wimbledon. Are there any plans to do that again?
Oh, I guess if I'm invited back. I forgot about that actually. So thank you for reminding me. It's a good idea.
Any more questions?
just lastly, your thoughts on what Serena is into the quarters. She's going for tying Steffi Graf here. What are your thoughts on just how her year is going? And 'cause you obviously have a better perspective on her than any of us.
What do I think about the year? I think she's played an amazing year. A lot of finals, not as many wins as she wanted, but she ran into some players who couldn't miss, and that happens all the time when you're number one in the world. So every match she plays is usually against a player who's at their best. So to be able to play that well day in, day out is a major accomplishment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very much.